So imagine 15% of people that you could basically trick with anything. Get them to join a cult, get them to sign up for some fucking telemarketing swindle.
You think it's IQ, or do you think it's...
IQ is interesting, right? Because IQ doesn't necessarily mean intelligence, because it depends upon your education. Because some of the questions in IQ tests are predicated on a knowledge of math and understanding of like how to do equations and certain things that you learn in school. But there's intelligence that is social intelligence, intelligence in terms of being able to see what the problems are in a certain choice you make, or what the up benefits are of a different choice. There's people that are strategizers, and they're really good at like business. They're really good at figuring people out. They're really good at figuring themselves out. There's an intelligence to that. So the problem with IQ, in my mind, is I know a lot of people with very high IQs, but their life is a clumsy mess. So it's like it really is dependent upon what is the mental horsepower you have, and how are you applying that mental horsepower? Are you Gary Clark Jr. and applying that mental horsepower to music, and you're a genius, but you're a genius in music? Or are you Lex Friedman and you're making, artificial intelligence and coding robots? Are you Elon Musk? You're making spaceships. Like, what are you doing with this intelligence? So IQ, there's limitations of it, but at least it's an indicator of how smart a person is. It's an indicator. It's not the only indicator. There's other factors that I think are much more intangible. They're much harder to measure and weigh. That's my take on it. I think it means something.
I think if your parents opened up your eyes, something, it's like I do that bit, and it's true. I really do. I'm mad at my guidance counselor. I really am, deep down inside, because, he was telling you all about those job possibilities and college possibilities, but he forgot to tell us about New York being right across the river and all the possibilities you had over there. I would have done this shit earlier.
You mean stand-up?
Everything.
Yeah.
I would have tried anything earlier.
The thing is, no one's ever going to advise that you take the riskiest chance in show business. No one's ever going to advise that you...
I didn't want to be a show business guy, but I wish you would have told me, if you want to take acting lessons, you go to the city.
That's show business.
I didn't know that fucking... Right. When I'd watch a movie, I thought you just walked on the fucking thing and they gave you a part. Listen how stupid I was when I was young.
It's not stupid. It's uninformed.
I thought
right?
when stand-up did a special, I thought he just showed up. And they had a camera and he goes, I'm ready. And that's what I thought. I didn't think any... I didn't really know... I'm mad that he didn't open up. I see the kids I grew up with. You got to see the people around you. Mm-hmm. And some of us saw some things and some of us didn't. Some of us saw a path that was different than just getting a job and working 40 years and getting a watch. I don't think they opened up our minds to that stuff. Like, there was a lot of stuff that we didn't. In my house, she would fucking tell. Like, my mother was crazy. When I was 6, she would put a fucking gold chain on me that belonged to a man, and she'd make me put it out. And she'd go, I want you to walk the streets like that so if somebody fucks you, I mean, and I think about these stories and I go, what was she doing?
Right. Why was she getting you to go outside with a valuable piece of jewelry around your neck as a little kid?
I remember one night I was getting ice cream on 88th Street and the gold chain was hanging. And when I went to get the cone from Mr. Softy, he goes, that's a nice chain. And he looked at it. My mother was watching from the window. She was like, punch him in the fucking face. I'm like, 8. I'm like, 8. Don't let nobody touch your face. Like she was, she just did things, Like don't go in a car with people. Like just general shit that they banged into your fucking head.
Well, that's good. All that stuff's good.
I was out there. Like, I was out there every fucking day,
It's a different kind of intelligence, right? Street smarts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Like and it's also informed. You're informed. You're informed about the dangers of your environment. And some people, if they grow up in the suburbs and they go to really nice schools, they're lost in those environments. They don't understand the rules.
Doc, I'm worried about kids today.
You should be.
Listen, I didn't know this. I just spoke to somebody in my old neighborhood, and we were talking about something. They go, you should see the neighborhood at 2:30. Fucking, you can't drive. And I go, why? She goes, McKinley School, where I went. She goes, the parents pick them up with cars. I go, what are you talking about? We walked those streets home. There was just 3 blocks. It's a block from the neighborhood. She goes, not anymore. Those kids don't walk those streets at all. And they live right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like across town, like, you know. You got to get those kids out.
Yeah, they got to get out of the house for sure.
We got to get them out.
How many kids are just at home playing video games all day,
it drives me fucking crazy when my daughter goes knocking on people's doors and they're like, no, well, they're inside playing video games. You know, it's 70 fucking degrees out.
Yeah.
And I just called Mr. Softy. He's on his way. What the fuck? Yeah, I got Mr. Softy's number in my neighborhood. First time I met him, I gave him an edible, and he's like, where are you at? And I told him.
Does it ring? Does it ding, 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 ding?
But he comes too early. He comes at 4. People still, you know, they're still at work. But when that motherfucker comes, Mr. Softy, I would give him edibles, those ABX edibles, and tell him, put them in my milkshake. And he blended in the milkshake.